welcome back to my channel. My name is Rachel. That is the R in the RK Stumblingbear, and I'm a reader and a writer. And I'm back to do my WIC Readathon pile of possibilities. It is my own readathon. Of course I have to try to get all 25, get a complete blackout. And I'm a mood reader. Since this is going to last the whole year, these are only a pile of possibilities. They can be switched in and out with other things that I read. Let's have fun with this. For the prompt, and so for this I'm just kind of going off of the bingo board, each row. For the prompt, food as community, I have How to Bake by Paul Hollywood. And yes, that's the Paul Hollywood from the Great British Baking Show. I was gifted this cookbook years ago, and I've started making things, but I would like to finish making things from this cookbook. Find out which recipes I really like. If I don't like all of them, then I'll pass the book on. So, and how that we can tie this into food as community is when I make something, I get to then eat it with somebody else, whether that's my husband, my sister, my parents, or my coworkers. So it'll be fun. For main character is a mother, I have Finley Donovan is Killing It. It is a contemporary thriller mystery kind of thing. That's all I know about that one. For the 2025 new release, I have Death of an Author by Nanedia Corfor. This is a sci-fi book, which I've just recently got the notification that it's coming from the library, and I will get it this weekend. So it will be read soon. I'm excited. It is also one of my anticipated releases for this first quarter. If you'd like to know what my other ones are, here's the video. For the children's picture book, I have Home is a Lunchbox by Cherry Mo. This was a recommendation I picked up from Ashley from the Realm of Kidlit Comics, I think is what her channel is. I watched Ashley for many years on both of her channels, so anytime I get a recommendation about a book from her, I'm very excited. And she did say that food is one of the big things in this, which I was like, well, WIC Readathon, that's just perfect. So this is going to be my children's picture book, and I will be reading it soon. For Change in Life, I have chosen Bloom by Kevin Panetta and Savannah Ganju, I'm not sure. This is a graphic novel, and it's like a new adult. It has two young men, one who grew up in a bakery and wants to go do something else, and another one who wants to work in the bakery, and how they get to know one another. So I am going to be reading this for a change of life. For a main character that works in a healthcare setting. Now this one, there's an asterisk. I have chosen Dating Dr. Dill by Nisha Sharma. And my asterisk is, it's the male love interest who's the doctor, and I don't know yet if he has a POV in the book. If he has a POV in the book, this works. A lot of romances will have a POV from the girl and the guy. Now, if he doesn't, I will have to choose something else. For a nonfiction read, I have The Indian Card, Who Gets to Be Native in America by Carrie Schapeltz. This is one that I saw Margaret Pernard read last fall and picked it up. My husband is expanding his native nonfiction collection, so this is one he was like, yeah, sure, you heard good things, so I'm going to read it as part of this readathon. It's in the other room, which is why I'm not holding it right now. So for recommended read, I am going with James by Percival Everett. Now this is a story, think Huckleberry Finn, and there you have Jem. Well, this is his story from his perspective. This is a book I've seen on a lot of people's best of lists for 2024, so I'm counting it as a recommended read. For speculative fiction, I am going with A History of What Comes Next by Sylvain Neuvel, and this is a sci-fi historical. This is set in the past, and it's following a family that influences how the space race happens. And something, because I have already started reading this, I'm like 3/4 of the way through. I really like that it's bringing in more of the space history that a lot of people don't know. It's talked about people who I have never heard of. It's not what you normally would hear about in school. It's not the Mercury 7 or, you know, a lot of that. You're learning more about how the space race worked from other perspectives, and I'm really enjoying that. For the oldest book on my TBR, I took that to mean, it was vague on purpose. You could have said like the one that's been on your TBR the longest, or I took it to be the actual oldest, as in oldest written, and I am going to be reading the Iliad by Homer. Yeah. For a retelling, I have chosen Unconquerable Sun by Kate Elliott, and this is a retelling of Alexander the Great, set in space. For a genre blend, I am going to be picking up The Silver Blood Promise by James Logan. This is a genre blend of fantasy and mystery, and all the reviews I've heard of it have specifically said it is both. For Cow on the Cover, I don't have anything yet. I did not expect this one to be so hard for me to find. I know I've seen books with cows on covers, but now that I'm specifically looking, I'm finding all the books with sheep and goats. So yeah, there's that. I will find something sometime. If you guys know of a book with a cow on the cover, let me know down below so that I can fill that prompt. For a book with general appeal, I am going with The Ministry of Time by Callian Bradley. This is one that won the Sci-Fi Goodreads Choice Awards, but I know many circles who are not sci-fi people who have read it and really enjoyed it. And I did read a chapter of it and really liked it. So this is what I'm going to be reading. For my sequel, I chose Cast in Atonement by Michelle Segura. This is book 19. It's far in the series, but it's the most recent sequel that I have not yet read for this series. And she's pretty good about putting out a book every year, so I need to get it read so I can read the next book when it comes out. For Middle Eastern or Greek, I have gone with a retelling called Inanna by Emily H. Wilson. Inanna was a goddess in Mesopotamia. It's a name I've definitely seen before, and I'm curious to know how this will go. For the fanfic category, I also have not chosen anything for this. However, I know my sister reads fanfic, so when I'm ready to do this prompt, I'm just going to go to her and say, which one do you like the best, and read whichever one she likes. For comfort read, I have chosen The Enchanted Greenhouse by Sarah Beth Durst. This is a companion novel to The Spell Shop, which was one of my favorites last year. So I already know how this is going to be feeling, at least. For a classic, I chose Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen. I haven't read it yet. It's been on my shelf for years. Let's go ahead and do this. For a Latina read, I have chosen The Poetics by Elizabeth Acevedo. And I also know that this is written in verse, so this works for another challenge that I'm working on as well that has poetry. So I've seen this book for years. I'm excited to finally get to read it. For Water on Cover or Water Words, I am doubling up with the Buzzword Readathon, and I'm going to be reading Ocean's Gadori by Elaine Cho. I know that this is a space opera. It is a 2024 release, and so I want to read it sooner rather than later, at least before nominations for the Hugos open. So I have that. For fruits or vegetables on the cover, I have The Service Berry by Robin Wall Kimmerer. I know this is one that has come out recently, and the service berry is an actual fruit. I did look it up. I was like, okay, well, I've always wanted to read something by this author, so I guess this is going to be my first one. For a novella, I have Full Speed to a Crash Landing by Beth Rivas. This is going to be a space opera romance novella series. I've had my eye on it for a while, and so I'm excited that I'll be getting to pick it up. For a long book, I have The Blind Light by Stuart Evans. I have no clue what this is about, nor where I got it, but it's on my explodable books for this year, so I'm going to be trying this. And for the last prompt, religion or spiritual theme, I have chosen Transcendent Kingdom by Jiasi. Last year I read Homegoing by her, so I'm going to try another one of her books and see how I like it. So this has been my pile of possibilities. I'm curious, what are your pile of possibilities? Even if you're not trying to go for a blackout, if you're just going to go for a row, I would love to know. Thank you and have a great day.